Welcome to another MedLook video tutorial. Today we will be looking at the appointment screen. Now to get to the appointment screen, you can do by one of three ways. You can go to Folders and go to Appointments and select a subfolder, or you can click the Command button on this menu. Then lastly, you can go to the folder list, go down to Appointments, and select one of the subfolders that you can see here. But right now we will be working out of the today/1 day. Now when you come into the appointment screen, you'll see this. And as you can see right here on the left, you have this toolbar. Up on the top, you can hit Create a New Appointment, Save Appointment. You can add or edit a patient. You can refresh the whole screen, or you can set the default appointment time. Now, as you can see here, we just have basic fields. You have the provider, the patient, their home and work numbers, the description or the reason for visit, the date of the appointment, the start time, the end time, how long the appointment is, the duration, what type of appointment it is, what the procedure code is, and where it is. Then you have basic patient information, their balance, insurance balances, their copay. You have the colors for the calendar that you can set optionally. Daily reoccurring appointments, you have the end date. Weekly reoccurring appointments, you have the interval and you have the end date. You also have these list filters that you can filter the calendar by. You can filter on the statuses, which provider. You can filter by a particular patient or patients. You can filter on the date or the operation. You can also filter on which facility shows up in the calendar. So if you have multiple facilities, you can say you only want the facilities for the Helping Hands Hospital, and only those will show up. Also, on the top you have this menu bar. You can print the appointments. You can delete the appointments. You can delete a single appointment, or you can delete multiple appointments. That would delete appointments before the date that you have specified. You have this button right here which goes to today, whatever the date is today. You can go back 1 day or forward 1 day. You have your resources, which is just your providers. You can select any number of providers you want at one time and they will all show up in the calendar. And then I'll skip options just for a second. Right here you have months, and the only thing this does is it hides the calendar that would be on the right side of the MedLook program. Now you have options. You can click that and you get this dialog. You have your basic options on this tab, just this show time, which would be whatever time shows up at the beginning of the calendar when you come in. You have the minutes. You have 15-minute intervals, selectable minutes, which would mean that you can select only 15-minute intervals. You can modify your time for the calendar. You have your system time. You can also give it the 12-hour or the 24-hour. And the system time is just whatever you have specified for your computer's time. You have your start of week, which you can set to whatever your work week is set as. You can have the show week field, which will just show what week it is in the year, which will be right beside the date up here. See, it is week 28. You have different text styles, which would modify the layouts of the text that show up in the calendar. You have drag between resources, which allows you to drag an appointment from Dr. A, drag it into Dr. B, if you have two resources selected to show up in the appointments calendar. You have the show timescale only. You have yes or no for that. And you have the font for the appointments. Now you have this enable auto update, which is helpful if you have multiple people scheduling appointments in your office. You have this enable shared settings, which would share your settings with everybody else that runs MedLook. And then you have the enable extra appointment settings, which we will come to later. On the right part of this, you can see that you have the statuses for the appointments. You have the label, which would be the name of it. You have the background color for that specific status, and you have the text color, which you can change both of those. And you have the time that you can assign to it. So if you wanted a patient who scheduled their appointments, if you wanted their appointment time to be 30 minutes, you just type in 30 minutes. And then you can change the background color. We'll just change it to a green. And you can change their text color. We'll just do purple. So just for the times, all you have to do is just type in the hours, colon, and then however many minutes you want it. So we'll just say for a walk-in you would get 15. Now to apply these changes, all you have to do is hit apply and wait for it to save. And there we go, it's been saved. Now, these other tabs, you have work week, which you can set the dates for what times you are open or scheduling appointments in the work week. You have your fixed holidays. You can add those in up here. You have your floating holidays, and you also have your one-time events. So we'll go ahead and exit out of this. Now to create a new appointment, you can do one of two things. You can create it from this menu, or you can just select a time on the calendar and go from there. Now one important thing is we have an option that you can set a default time for an appointment. So the way you do that is you just select the number of minutes that you want. So we'll say we want 45 minutes, and you will go to set time, and that sets the time right here from the start date to the end time. The duration is 40 minutes. Then all you have to do is hit this set default appointment time. You click that. Do I want to set the appointment time? Yes. There you go, it's been set. So now we can go to add appointment. All you have to do is you can make a new appointment, or you can make a new patient and appointment. Right now we'll just do a new appointment. We'll select the person, just do Arthur Lewis, hit this green checkbox. And here is the additional appointment information. You can do no time assignment, which would just do the time that you have selected in the grid, which would be a 15-minute interval. You can apply the default time that we just set, or you can apply a status and that would apply the time. So we will go to scheduled. Then you can also assign a facility. So we'll just say they are at the Helping Hands Hospital. If you don't want this dialog to ever show up, you can check this Do Not Show Again button, and it won't show up whenever you create an appointment. So we will hit OK, and there you go. As you can see, it applied the color changes that we applied in the options dialog, and it applied the default time, which was for 30 minutes. Now, I'll show you how to create a new patient and create an appointment. You'll just click New Patient / Appointment. Then you just you can type in the full name here and then hit Tab, and it will fill in all of the information for you. So we'll just say Mr. Roger A. You will just hit Tab, and as you can see, the last name, first name, middle initial, and title were filled in automatically from the full name. We'll just get a date of birth. and we'll just leave that the way it is. You hit OK. This dialog comes up. We just want to apply a default time. Hit OK, and there we go. It was set to 45 minutes. Now if you want to show multiple doctors at one time, all you have to do is hit this resources. And as you can see, we have 2 doctors in there. If we want to show both, you just hit Control and then hold that down and click the next doctor you want to show. As you can see, we have the 2 doctors showing, Dr. Little and Dr. Beaumont. And if I want to drag Arthur Lewis over to Beaumont, all I have to do is click on him and hold and drag it over to whatever time I have specified. And as you can see, his appointment time has changed. So I hope this video has helped, and have a nice day.